3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, August 14th, 2018. Thank you so much for coming by the channel. In this video, going to talk about Bitcoin. Where's the bottom? Bitcoin value. Is it overvalued? Is it undervalued? Where are we? Is it a good time to accumulate in terms of its value? Let's jump into the video and talk about this. First, I want to visit Tesla. And it's might seem a little off topic, but it provides really good framework and context for what we're talking about here because it speaks to the markets. It speaks to the fact that, in my opinion, everything is all relative, depending on how you're looking at things. So Tesla price per share, $353. We're like, 8 years, I think, from its IPO, still not profitable. Tesla is still not profitable, $353 per share. And we can check out this piece in this article. Valuation leaves significant downside. It's so self-evident to say that Tesla's stock is overvalued that even Elon Musk is saying it. No one needs to be told that the stock price reflects enormous growth expectations. Sound familiar? Growth expectations, reflective in price. Sounds very familiar. But it's worth quantifying how unrealistic those expectations really are. Maybe unrealistic in terms of Tesla. In my opinion, not unrealistic in terms of Bitcoin. If we assume that Tesla can achieve 8% NOPAT margins, which is net operating profits after taxes, somewhere in between a mass market and a luxury car brand within 4 years, it would still need to grow revenue by 30% compounded annually for the next 10 years to justify its current price of around $345 a share. Those are ambitious targets for a company with no track record of profitability. So this article laying out future analysis, I guess you can say, based on earnings and all that good stuff to justify a price per share, but in general, calling Tesla overvalued. And if you want to compare that to Bitcoin right now, it's very similar to the chatter going on with Bitcoin, saying even at its price right now at around $6,000, it's overvalued. Many are saying that. But if you're in my position, I have a completely different opinion to say it's undervalued. Because really, at the end of the day, the thing that's going to value Bitcoin is the market demand, is the market need. And those two things are going to grow exponentially as we move forward in these markets. And as the economic landscape of the world changes, demand and need are going to grow exponentially with Bitcoin. And therefore, Bitcoin price, in my opinion, is going to grow exponentially as well. That's my mindset. But you can see really in any market, everybody has their opinion. So what I want to do is I want to talk about the bottom. Is now a good time to accumulate? Are we going lower? Where's Bitcoin right now? How long are we going to be here at around $6,000? Nobody knows, but it is fun and interesting to revisit history, especially in terms of that last bear market and its bottom. So I went back a few years and I looked at Reddit posts from a few years ago. And here's the first one. It says, it's January 2015 and you can now buy 6 Bitcoins for the price of 1 January 2014 Bitcoin. What a deal, folks. And I wanted to point that out and start this off by pointing that out because if you look at the charts back in that market, here we are. So he's saying January 2015 prices, you can now get like 3 Bitcoin. Is that what he said? 6 Bitcoin, I'm sorry, for the price of January 2014 prices, a year later. An optimistic post after some pretty ridiculous losses, 80% losses, but an optimistic bullish post. And around $200 some Bitcoin. I think that person, as long as they've held and they've stuck around, they're making out pretty well. And this was actually before, much more volatility at Bitcoin's bottom in 2015 in that area. But an optimistic post nonetheless, very reminiscent and reflective of posts that we're seeing now, right around here. And that's happening amidst very, very bearish posts. People bashing Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, calling it game over, just like they were back here. So interesting post to start out with if you want to visit the historical past of sentiment. And then we can go over to this post. The bet is on. Is the bottom in at $430? This was 4 years ago. So this was posted in terms of the chart, probably right around here in this area. The bottom was not in, but this person really trying to find the bottom. Are the terms below in bold agreeable to you? On January 1st, 2015, if the Bitstamp exchange rate of one Bitcoin has not been less than $430 for any consecutive time exceeding 48 hours, blah, 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 the rate of one Bitcoin is ever less than $430. So really, this is a speculation post, and I wanted to point it out because this is a picture of somebody probably bullish on Bitcoin, but trying to find that bottom, trying to guess that bottom. Never a good idea, because as you can see, the $430 bottom that they were, hoping for, or maybe even anticipating, did not come, and we still saw 50% plus losses from that area. So be careful if you're trying to call a bottom here, or even if you're trying to call a bottom at $3,500 or something. Be careful. And then we can go to this post. Downtrend seems to be flattening out. Has anyone else noticed the 17-month downtrend seems to have flattened out since January 2015? Look at the charts from December 2013 and you'll see a noticeable 5-month flat trend starting in January of this year. So this was an interesting post because this person basically noticed a 5-month downtrend flattening out area after January. So that probably left us right in, probably right around here in May, this person posting and noticing that this really strong downtrend in Bitcoin that we saw, right? This person posting right around here in May and kind of noticing a leveling out. Obviously a wide channel. I think this was like a 40% gain and then like a 25-30% loss there, but still a flattening out in terms of this channel. And still had another, 6 months to go or so within that channel, but that person noticing something. And that's probably one of the biggest things we can look out for in terms of locating a bottom. I don't know if it's going to be here or not, but we want to see some sideways action. Even if it has some volatile ups and downs, we want to see sideways consolidation like we saw here and this person noticed back in 2015 of around May. And then I wanted to end this with this post. Very, very good post. A lesson. History of Bitcoin crashes. You may have seen posts similar to this posted all over the place. Reddit, Twitter, YouTube. And I won't go through each scenario, but Bitcoin has spectacularly died several times, they say, and it lays out each time. But I like what they wrote. Market is all about moving money from impatient to patient. You see crash, I see opportunity. You, Bitcoin is crashing, I gotta sell. Me, Bitcoin is criminally undervalued, I gotta buy. Word to the wise for new investors. What I've learned over 7 years is that whenever it crashes spectacularly, the bounce is twice as impactful and record-setting. I can't predict the bottom, but I can assure you that it will hit $19,000 and go further beyond. As hard as it may be for a lot of folks to believe right at this moment, if you haven't been through it before. And by the way, this was posted 6 months ago, okay? So we still had some continued downtrend to go from this post. And I would bet that this person is still bullish on Bitcoin. They continue, when Bitcoin was at all-time high little over a month ago, people were saying it's too pricey now, I can't buy. Well, here's your chance at almost 60% discounts. With growing mainnet adoption of Litecoin network, Bitcoin underlying value is greater than it was when it was valued $19,000. And that was 6 months ago. So this was back in basically like probably January time, right? And you can see how much we've come down since then, but really, really paints a nice picture of, and he laid it out really nicely, how undervalued Bitcoin was after probably a massive drop there in January. Could have been around $8,000 then, right? And now we're at $6,000, so even more undervalued, depending on what perspective you're coming from, depending on if you are the patient or the impatient, depending on how long you are on these markets. But I wanted to really just try and circle in a nice illustration, a nice picture of the value of Bitcoin and where it is right now. The market cap extremely small compared to, that of Facebook or something like that. And the market cap of Bitcoin and the money that is getting ready to come into Bitcoin because of need, because of demand, because of its technology and its world-changing innovation, the price will follow in terms of those things. And in my opinion, kind of agreeing with that Reddit post, this is kind of a battle between the patient and impatient, and it's value changing hands. So if you're keen on accumulation, that might be something good to think about at these levels of around $6,000 Bitcoin. Those are just my opinions. This whole video is not financial advice. I wanted to lay out where we are in the markets and kind of give an idea, a picture of sentiment. We've been here before, and it was years ago. And now we are where we are now. And if you zoom out on the weekly chart, you can see this continued uptrend with a nice, clear pattern of healthy consolidation right now. Not the end of the world, in my opinion, but very similar to that last bear market we had. Will we see some sideways trading for a while, even months? Possibly. Hang in there. Formulate your plan conservatively. Don't spend more than you can afford to lose. Let me know your thoughts about this video and about past sentiment. Do you agree with that last Reddit post in terms of the value changing hands between patient and impatient, impatient and patient? Are you accumulating at these levels, or are you waiting for further downside? Let me know. I'm curious. I really appreciate you coming by today. I will see you in the next video, and God bless.